8 contestants, all with a chance to win thousands of pounds. Only one will start in control. Can they stay ahead and beat the pack? Hello, I'm Jake Humphrey, and this is Beat the Pack, the show where if you can stay ahead of your opponents, you can win up to £12,000. Now, we've randomly selected one player to start in control, and that player is Paula. Come and join me, Paula. Paula, hello.
Hello.
Lovely to meet you. How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you. Yes.
Well, that's a very friendly face and a big smile. You look quite relaxed, considering.
I feel OK, yeah.
Good. So tell us a bit about yourself.
I'm from Bolton, originally
Right.
born in Wigan. I teach business studies and ICT in a high school, and I'm mum to Daniel and Holly.
All right, now, you can win up to £12,000 today. That's a massive amount of money by anyone's reckoning.
It is.
What would you do with it?
I'm moving house 3 weeks today, so it would come in really useful for moving house and sort of furnishing it as well.
Good luck, Paula.
Thank
Now,
you.
the aim of today is for you to walk out of here with up to £12,000. The aim of the pack is to stop you from doing that. Shall we say hello to them?
Certainly.
OK, here they are.
John, firefighter from Worcestershire.
Hannah, Assistant Research Manager from Nottingham.
Gary, Network Engineer from Newcastle.
Alina, Admin Assistant from Glasgow.
Sean, Estate Agent from Derry.
Hyacinth, Volunteer Ambassador from Essex.
Nick, Pig Farmer from Oxfordshire.
Oh, look at that. Quite a mix of ages and quite a mix of jobs as well. Everything from a pig farmer to a firefighter. Now, who's caught your eye?
The pig farmer.
Why Nick?
There's just something about Nick.
Is there?
He's very clever, yeah.
OK, Nick, you've been singled out early on. Is that fair, do you think?
Absolutely.
Is it? All right, well, Nick's confident as well. Right, so you've had a look at the pack.
Yeah.
You know the way the game works.
Yes.
Would you like to see the 6 categories worth
Oh,
up to
yes.
£12,000 that stand
Bring them
between
on.
you and the final? Bring them on, says
Bring
Paula.
them on.
Let's bring them on, then. Horse racing, hotels, Eurovision, British Prime Ministers, Meryl Streep and flowers. Now, each category is worth up to £2,000, and all Paula has to do is answer one question correctly from each category for the chance to win up to £12,000. But if she gets a question wrong at any time, she's out of the game. There are no second chances. But if she doesn't like a question, she doesn't have to answer it. I'll just replace it with an easier one, but it will cost her. Every time she passes, the money halves. Now, the pack, well, they'll be answering every single question. So, if Paula passes and they all get it right, she loses control and goes home with nothing. And that's not all. One of the pack will then take her place. So you know the stakes, you know the risks, you're in control, so you tell me when you're ready to go.
Let's go.
Right, let's do it. Let's play Beat the Pack. So, 6 categories, Paula. You can decide the tactics here. You can either go with a really tough category, get it out of the way when you're up against a large pack, or you can go with something that you're confident with, you can get some money in the bank, you can build the momentum. How do you want to start?
I'd rather get the worst out of the way first.
And what is the worst?
The Meryl Streep one for me, please.
Right. So that's the first category, Meryl Streep. Now, one more thing before we take a look at the first question. At any time, I will give you a helping hand during the game, and I'll give you the chance to give me 2 answers to any question, Paula, OK?
Yes.
You can only use it once,
Yes.
so make sure you use your double answer tactically.
Yes.
All right, Paula, let's get your game underway and start with the £2,000 question on Meryl Streep. In 2003, Meryl Streep became the most nominated actress in Oscar history when she received a 13th nomination for which film? The Hours, Adaptation, Julie and Julia, The Manchurian Candidate. Paula, have a think. Pack, for the first time today, please answer now. Paula.
Yes.
The pack have all locked in their answer. It's a big amount of money. It's your first question of the whole game, and the first decision you need to make is whether you want to play or pass.
There is no doubt in my mind that I'm going to pass
Why?
on this one. I've not heard of one of those films.
Right, OK. You are struggling then with Meryl Streep as a category. I mean, it's unlikely, but it is possible that all 7 members of the pack know the right answer.
That's what I'm thinking. That's what...
If they do know, you understand by passing you out of the game.
Yeah.
Happy to pass?
I'm happy to pass.
OK, so let's see the correct answer to the £2,000 question. Adaptation. Still rings no bells.
I'm none the wiser.
OK, don't worry. But let's turn our attention to the pack, and Paula will worry if all 7 members of the pack knew the correct answer was adaptation. Let's see who was right. Just one pack member with the right answer. Well done, Nick. And clearly our teacher from Bolton knows a troublemaker when she spots one. No surprises there from you then, Paula.
Got his card sussed.
Yeah. So, Nick, you're now going to tell us that was a lucky guess, are you?
I am going to tell you that we watched this film 2 nights ago, my wife and I.
Next, he'll start telling you he watched every horse race in the history of living memory a few days ago as well. Nick, well done. You are the very first member of the pack. Through to the next category. Please go to the safe area. Right. Bad news for you in that you've lost Nick from the pack. The good news is, though, only one pack member got that right. So let's move on. The next question is worth £1,000. And here is the question. What was the nationality of Karen Blixen, the character portrayed by Streep in the film Out of Africa? Danish, Irish, Dutch or German? Paula, have a think. Pack, please answer now. Now, Paula, the important point for you here is that this is an easier question for you. It's also an easier question for the pack, so the chances of them knowing the right answer are increased. Have you seen Out of Africa?
Unfortunately, no.
Right. You know how tough this is. If you keep on passing, the chances of the pack getting it right increase. So what do you want to do here?
I'm still going to pass because I'm none the wiser.
Another pass from Paula. This is a slow and cagey start to your game, but it may well be the right decision. If you'd have gone for one, if I'd have said you must give me an answer, where would you have gone?
If I'd gone for one, I'd probably pick Irish.
You may have picked Irish, but you chose to pass. So let's have a look at the correct answer. And well done for not playing, because the correct answer is Danish. But again, by passing, there are risks associated with it. If our 6 remaining members of the pack all knew the right answer, Paula's game is over. Let's have a look who knew the correct answer. One member of the pack again, Paula. Another good decision by you. Hyacinth, well done. You're through to the next category. Over to the safe area. Look at that. You're still in the game. So are 5 members of the pack. We move on to another question now. The thing to remember is it will start to get a lot easier for you and the pack. So passing is really going to start to be a risky move for you, OK? Ready to move on?
Yes.
The next question is worth half as much because Paula passed, £500. And here's the question. That dingo's got my baby is a line spoken by Streep in which film? The Deer Hunter, A Cry in the Dark, The Iron Lady, or Silkwood? Have a think, Paula. Pack, over to you. The pack have answered. The pressure is starting to increase. Please tell me this is an easier question for you.
I can actually, I think, rule one of them out. Unfortunately,
Which one?
it's just one, the Iron Lady.
Right. So you don't think she shouted that at Dennis Thatcher? No. OK.
Let's make it 3 times lucky. I'm going to pass to the pack.
Paula, I think it's crystal clear what her approach to this game is going to be. If in doubt, pass. Which of those would you have gone for?
The Deer Hunter.
OK, so Paula would have answered the Deer Hunter, but she chose to pass. If she'd said the Deer Hunter, would she have been through to the next category? No, you wouldn't. Again, the right decision for you, Paula. So, Paula's passed on the £500 question on Meryl Streep. Now we turn to the pack. Let's see which of the pack were correct. If it's all 5, Paula's game is over. One wrong answer. Paula, you're still in the game, but only just. Right. So, Hannah, was that a guess?
I'm going to be honest, it was a guess. I'm the same. I've only heard of Iron Lady, and I knew it wouldn't be that one, so it was a pick between the last 3.
OK, so you, John, Hannah, Gary and Sean, you're all through to the safe area. So, 4 more members of the pack through to the next category. Suddenly, Elena, you're looking very lonely up there all on your own. You understand what's happening now, Elena, don't you? You are really vulnerable. If Paula answers the next question and gets it right, you're out of the game. Paula, ready to move on?
Ready.
So, Paula chose to pass again, which means the next question is halved. It's worth £250. And here it is. In the musical Mamma Mia, which item of clothing does Streep's character Donna wear for much of the film? Tutu, dungarees, bikini, poncho. Have a think, Paula. Elena, please give us your answer. Right. Pretty quickly, Elena locked in an answer. I think we all know how much you know about Meryl Streep. So, what do you think the answer is?
I'm convinced she always wore denim dungarees, so it's B. That is my answer, dungarees.
Right. So let's lock in dungarees.
Yes!
OK, all we've done there is lock it in,
Oh,
Paula.
no, is it not the right answer?
Don't get ahead of yourself. Right, here we go. It's the £250 question on Meryl Streep.
Right.
Paula has done a lot of passing. She's finally chosen to play, and if she's right, she's through. Meryl Streep, the worst category of the lot for you, is over. If you're wrong, you're out. Is the correct answer dungarees? Yes, it is! Well done!
Oh, excellent!
I enjoyed that little bounce up and down. Paula, for the rest of this game, there will be no more questions on Meryl Streep, OK?
Thank you.
And the good news is, £250 is yours. Well done. So, delight for Paula. Finally choosing to play was absolutely the right thing to do. But, Elena, you know what this means for you. Did you know the answer to that question?
Yeah, I did actually.
Look, Elena, every other member of the pack made it through to the safe area. Sadly, you didn't. Thank you for playing.
Thank you.
So we say goodbye to Elena, but we bring back the pack. We've got 5 categories left, each of them worth up to £2,000. So you could add another £10,000 to your prize pot, but not if you keep on passing. Shall we move on and choose our next category?
Yes.
Where would you like to go?
I'm going to go with British Prime Ministers.
Let's see how she fares on British Prime Ministers. Let's see the £2,000 question. Winston Churchill was elected to Parliament for the first time in 1900 to represent which constituency? Luton, Newbury, Oldham, Huddersfield. Paula, have a think. Pack, over to you. Right, the pack have locked in their answer. So play or pass?
There's some people in there who are younger than me, and I'm hoping, like me, they don't know much about Winston Churchill. So I'm going to pass it to the pack.
So once again, she's going to pass. Let's reveal the correct answer. Right. Here's the risk. You've chosen to pass. If the pack, which now consists of 6 players, knew it was Oldham, then you've lost the money you've banked and you're out of the game. Let's see who knew the correct answer. Sean and Hyacinth with the correct answers. Well, Hyacinth, was this a guess? Did you know the answer?
It was just a lucky draw, yeah.
OK. And Sean, what was your way of deducing the correct answer on this occasion?
I studied politics for A-level, and something kind of clicked.
Well, Sean, those studies and Hyacinth, that lucky guess, has put you both into the next category. Please go to the safe area. We now move on to the next question. Last time you faced a £1,000 question, you were up against 6 pack members. This time there's only 4 of them. Bear that in mind, Paula, as we move on to the next question, worth £1,000. And here it is. Which of these 20th century prime ministers won 4 general elections? Harold Wilson, Edward Heath, Harold Macmillan, Clement Attlee. Paula, have a think. Pack, please answer now. So John, Hannah, Gary and Nick very quickly locking in an answer there, and you are looking unsure to me, Paula.
I am unsure.
OK, so do you want to play or pass?
I'll pass.
Paula's chosen to pass on the £1,000 question on British Prime Ministers. With only 4 members of the pack, it's a risk. If they know the right answer, Paula goes home. Let's see the correct answer. Harold Wilson. So let's turn to the pack then. Let's see who got it right. Well done, John. John, you're into the next category. Go to the safe area. This is going to cost you £500 now to move on to the next question. So let's do it. The next question halves. It's worth £500. And here is the question. In the 2003 film Love Actually, which actor played the Prime Minister? Colin Firth, Hugh Grant, Hugh Bonneville, Anthony Head. Paula, have a think. Remaining pack members, please answer now. So, Hannah, Gary and Nick have answered. Now, Paula, it's your turn. You know the stakes are beginning to be raised here. Play or pass?
You're not going to believe this, but I am going to play it. And I'm going to go for Hugh Grant.
It's a risk.
It's a risk.
Because if you're wrong, you're out of the game. If you're right, you're through to the next category. You've got £500 in the bank. We move on from British Prime Ministers. Let's lock in Hugh Grant. Is the correct answer Hugh Grant? Yes, it is. Well done. Right. Paula, well done.
Thank you.
You decided to play another question. You chose, actually, the right time to play. This is really working out well for you, this cautious game. So let's add another £500 to your bank. That brings you up to £750, but more importantly than that, you can now take out a member of the pack that you think is a risk to you, and there's Hannah, Gary and Nick left in. Who would you like to say goodbye to?
I would like to say goodbye to Nick.
Why?
Because he's coming across as being extremely clever.
You're sending him back to the pig farm.
Back to the pig farm.
Oh, Nick, you've given us some good answers. Did you know the correct answer to the last question?
Yes, I knew that one.
All right, well, Nick, you're out of the game. Paula's decided that you're a big risk. Therefore, you need to leave the pack. But thanks for playing.
Thank you.
OK, Nick leaves us, but let's now bring back the pack. And then there were 5. It's taken us a while to get there, but we are managing to tick off the categories slowly but surely. There is a potential £8,000 still to be won on the board. So far, Paula, you've managed to bank £750. You're losing a lot of money with all the passing that you're doing, but it's keeping you in the game, so it's up to you how you want to play on. Horse racing, hotels, Eurovision and flowers are the 4 remaining categories. Where should we go?
I would like to select horse racing, please.
OK. Horse racing is Paula's next category. This is the £2,000 question on horse racing. Which English classic race is the oldest? The Oaks, the 1,000 guineas, the 2,000 guineas, the St Leger. Paula, have a think. Pack, please give us your answer. OK, the pack have locked in their answers. So do you want to play or pass on this question?
If I had to go with my gut instinct, I would say the Oaks. But I'm not 100% sure.
OK, you've got the double answer if you want to use that. The trick is to work out the best time to make the use of that double answer.
My 2 options would be the Oaks and the St Leger.
Do you want to do it? On the £2,000 question?
I'm going to go for the Oaks and the St Leger.
She's playing the £2,000 question, everyone.
I'm nothing to lose, so I might as well do it.
Right. She would like to play. So, let's lock in the double answer. Paula, give me your first answer, please.
The Oaks.
The Oaks. And your second answer?
The St Leger.
Let's lock in the St Leger. All locked in, no turning back. Let's see, is the correct answer the Oaks? It wasn't. Right, so now Paula's entire game rests on a guess. She's guessed that the St Leger is the oldest English classic race. Has that decision ended Paula's game? You are right! Paula! I thought you were a goner. I really did. I thought your game was over at that point.
Not the only one.
That's amazing. So you chose the right time to take a risk, and you are into the next category with another £2,000 in the bank. Well done. Before we move on, you need to decide which of the pack you would like to say goodbye to. And because it was the £2,000 question, all of the pack are there for you to choose from. Nobody was in the safe area.
Based on what I've seen so far of who's been getting answers correctly, I'm going to have to say goodbye to Hyacinth.
So is it the amount of time that Hyacinth has been in the safe area that worries you?
Yeah.
All right. Well, Hyacinth...
Clever lady.
Did you know the answer to that question?
Yeah.
You did. Which leads me to think that perhaps, Paula, you made the right decision. And do you know what? Hyacinth is the strongest player in the pack. So
Wow.
Paula has managed to eliminate the best person up there. Thank you very much for playing. You need to leave the pack. Bye-bye. You are good at judging people. I'd hate to be one of the kids in your class. I'd be straight in trouble with you before I'd even spoken.
Yeah, got your
you would have
card
got my
marked,
number,
yeah.
absolutely. So, what would you like your fourth of the 6 categories to be?
Flowers.
OK, there's still a potential £6,000 to add to your prize pot up there, so let's go to flowers. And here is the £2,000 question on flowers. The tulip gets its name from a Persian word for which type of headwear? Fez, crown, helmet, turban. Paula, have a think. Pack, please give us your answer. Now, there was a bit of thinking time from the pack there, wasn't there? They weren't too quick at locking in their answer.
I haven't got a clue, so I'm going to pass it back.
OK, so once again, we return to cautious Paula playing today's Beat the Pack. Let's have a look at the correct answer. The correct answer was turban. Now, if all 4 remaining pack members knew the correct answer was turban, then you, Paula, and the £2,750 that you've got so far is out of the game. John with the right answer. Well done, John. So, I'm guessing that when you're not busy with the fire service, you're reading a lot, learning a lot.
Yeah, lots of flower arranging during breaks.
Of course.
That sort of stuff, yeah. Just a guess, because it looks like a turban, so I just went for that one.
It tells us that it's a guess. Your job, Paula, is to use your teacher's intuition to work out whether what John's telling you really is the truth. But what matters is that, John, you're into the next category. Please go to the safe area. Paula, the stakes are getting higher all the time. You, 3 pack members, on a question worth £1,000. Here is the question. Which of these is a male part of a flower and produces pollen? Pistil, stigma, anther, carpel. Paula, have a think. Pack, please answer now. Our pack have answered. Now it's time for you to answer.
Hey, let's do what I always do. Let's pass it back to the pack.
Right, Paula passes it once again back to the pack. You are starting to play an incredibly, incredibly risky game if you carry on being cautious and the pack gets smaller and smaller.
Oh, no.
Still happy to pass?
Yeah.
OK. Paula knows the stakes, but she's chosen to pass on the £1,000 question on flowers. So let's see what the correct answer is. It was anther. Right. Hannah, Gary and Sean are the 3 remaining pack members. And if they all got the correct answer to this question, Paula, you're out of the game. Let's see how they did. The pack not knowing the answer is great news for you, Paula. Really good news for you. The next question is worth half as much, £500, because Paula passed. Let's have a look at the £500 question on flowers. The trumpet narcissus is better known by what name? Daffodil, primrose, daisy or carnation? Paula, I'll come to you in a moment. Pack, please give us your answer. And a very, very quick lock-in. So, what do you think? Are you going to play or pass?
Let's go for daffodil.
You're going to play?
I'm going to play.
Paula's going to play. She's playing with Daffodil. Once again, if it's the right answer, you, Paula, are through to the next category. If it's wrong, we'll be saying goodbye. Let's see. Is the answer Daffodil? Paula, another category out of the way.
Wow.
You've now got over £3,000 in the bank. Well done, Paula.
Thank you.
Well, you don't want anyone to come and take that money off you, so the aim for you is to make sure that the strongest players in the pack are not in the game, so they can't take your money. So who would you like to say goodbye to?
I would like to say goodbye to Gary, please.
Gary, did you know the answer to that last question?
The last question, yes. The other ones, no.
Right. And what do you think of the remaining 2 categories?
No hope.
Well, Paula, have you removed the right person? Gary's the weakest player in the pack at the moment, and you've chosen to take him out. But that's the way the game works. Gary, Paula singled you out. Please leave the pack. Let's bring back the pack. John, back you come. Paula up against 3 members of the pack. What's your focus at this stage in the game, Paula?
Trying to get through those categories, answering the questions, and trying to get the money.
Right.
I've come this far now. I do not want to lose it.
You have £3,250 in the bank. You have a potential £4,000 just on these last 2 categories. You are 2 correct answers from the final. Where next?
We're going to the Eurovision.
We are off to Europe, everybody. OK, Eurovision is the next category for Paula. Time to be making your mind up, OK?
Got that one, yeah.
And I thought that all by myself. This is the £2,000 question on Eurovision. Which of these is not the title of a song that has won the Eurovision Song Contest? Ding-a-dong, la-la-la, shoopy-doop, boom-bang-a-bang. Paula, have a think. Pack, please give us your answer. Pack are locked in, and they're locked in quickly. The stakes are really high at this point. You've got all that money banked, and you're so close to the final, you do not want to fall now. But with only 3 members of the pack, passing brings huge risk. How do you want to tackle this?
Do you want to do best?
Pass.
Pass it.
Passing Paula strikes
I'm
again.
hoping that maybe they don't watch the Eurovision.
Paula's going to pass on the £2,000 question on Eurovision. The correct answer was shoopy-doop. If the pack knew that, Paula is out. Let's see who got the correct answer. A good decision, Paula. Well done.
Yeah.
And the incredibly high standard of play that we've all enjoyed today on Beat the Pack continues. Quite remarkable. Right. The next question, Paula, is worth half as much because you passed. It's worth £1,000. Here is the £1,000 question on Eurovision. In 1956, which country hosted the first Eurovision Song Contest? Switzerland, Germany, Italy, Sweden. Paula, have a think. Pack, please give us your answer. OK, it's an easier question for you. It's an easier question for the pack. The question we need to have answered is this easy enough for you to go for it?
Before the answers came on, I had one in my mind, but unfortunately it's not on there.
What was it?
Ireland. So
Right.
that put paid to that one. And I'm looking, thinking, well, they didn't know the £2,000 answer. Are they going to know the £1,000 answer? And I'm going to edge my bets, because I'm going to pass it.
OK, let's reveal the correct answer. It's Switzerland.
See, I would have gone for Sweden.
Oh, would you?
Yeah.
OK, well, the answer was Switzerland. The Swiss also won that first Eurovision Song Contest. Let's see if John, Hannah and Sean knew the answer was Switzerland. Hannah, well done. Very good. Now, you've not made too many trips to the safe area, have you?
I've not. I've never even watched the full Eurovision Song Contest.
And you certainly didn't watch the one in 1956. Either that or you've aged very well. Go and relax in the safe area. OK, Hannah is safe. You are not. You're now up against 2 members of the pack. Let's move on to the £500 question, Paula, on Eurovision. Here it is. Which veteran singer represented the UK at Eurovision in 2012? Tom Jones, Sandy Shaw, Cliff Richard, Engelbert Humperdinck. Paula, have a think. Pack, please give us your answer. OK, John and Sean have answered. Now, when I turned back to you, you stood there like this, had a little look, and then just a little jump up and down. Now, was that a jump of, oh, I just don't know the answer? Or was that a little bit of elation coming out?
That was a little bit of elation coming out. I'm going to go for Engelbert Humperdinck.
OK, let's lock in Engelbert Humperdinck. OK, Paula, it's worth £500. That's quite important. Even more important than that is that if it's the right answer, you're into the last category. You're another step closer to the final. Let's see. Paula, well done. The wonderful Engelbert Humperdinck doing his best for Great Britain in the Eurovision Song Contest, singing Love Will Set You Free, and came second to last. Paula, right now, though, you are number one because it's another £500. You have survived Eurovision. Let's put £500 in your bank. This has been an amazing game. You've been here since the very start. Caution at certain times, bravery at other times, and you're now into the last category. Before we play that last category, please decide whether Sean or John needs to leave now.
I'm going to go for John.
Why John?
Because I think he's a lot cleverer than he's let on.
Well, John, you said to us at the start of the show that you don't know too much. You then spent a lot of time in the safe area, and each time you went there, you claimed it was a guess. So have you played a clever game, or have you been lucky today?
No, I've been absolutely really lucky, mate. Absolutely lucky. I knew that last one, but I think I've known two out the whole lot. So I was pretty lucky, but it's worked against me, I suppose. All
right, well, look, John, you've given us loads of correct answers. You claim it was luck, but sadly, your luck has run out at this point. I'm afraid you need to leave the pack, but thanks for playing, John. So John goes, but Hannah returns. Let's bring back the pack. I can barely believe we've made it here. There's been a lot of passing, there's been a lot of caution.
Yeah.
But Paula, the important thing is you are at the very last category, worth £2,000 for you, to add to the £3,750 you've already got. Either you will be in the final, up against Sean or Hannah, or it will be Sean or Hannah in the final if you fail at the very last hurdle. Paula, the last category is hotels. And here is, for the final time today, the £2,000 question. Which of these hotels has the most guest rooms and suites? The Dorchester, the Ritz in London, the Grand in Brighton, or Claridge's? Paula, have a think. Sean and Hannah, over to you. So having spent many, many nights at all four of these hotels,
yes,
Paula.
Absolutely.
You've probably stayed in every room, haven't you?
Yeah. I mean, I've heard of all of those hotels.
Have you visited any?
I'm sorry to say I've not been in any. I'd love to go in all of them. But it's difficult to say unless you'd actually been there, you know, and worked out the guest rooms and the suites. So, in true style, I think I'm going to pass it to these two.
Paula has chosen to pass once again, but this time it matters.
It does matter.
Probably more than at any other time during the game, because we're now into the final category. Let's see the correct answer. The answer is the Dorchester with 250 rooms. Claridge's has 203, the Grand with 201, and the Ritz is a positive minnow with just 134 rooms. If Sean and Hannah both knew the correct answer to this question, then finally, passing has not paid off for Paula. Her cautious game has worked out so well for her until this point. Has her luck run out? Let's see. Paula, you are still in the game. You are hanging on here by your fingertips.
Yes,
wow.
I am.
So the correct answer was the Dorchester. Sean didn't know that, neither did Hannah. Paula, your game continues. The next question is worth £1,000. This is now getting really tense. Here's the question. The site of the original Waldorf Astoria Hotel in New York City is now occupied by which modern landmark? Chrysler Building, Madison Square Garden, Rockefeller Center, Empire State Building? Paula, I'll come to you in a moment. Pack, please answer now. So could the answer that Hannah and Sean have just locked in be the answer that determines your game? You are so close to the final.
I know.
You need to make the right decision.
I'm going to go, if I'm going out with true style, what I've always done, and that's pass it.
Right. Paula has chosen to pass on the £1,000 question on hotels. And with only Hannah and Sean left in the pack, the risk at this stage is huge. What was your inkling?
Probably the Chrysler Building.
OK, let's see what would have happened if you'd have played with Chrysler Building. You would be out of the game. Did Hannah and Sean both get this question correct? Let's see. Sean, well done! You're in the final, Sean. You are in the final. How did you know the answer?
Just something clicked when I seen the Empire State Building.
What a time for something to click. How have you found the game up there today?
I think you have to remember it's a game of strategy, not of knowledge, so you have to play your answers craftily.
How do you mean play your answers craftily?
I think you have to know when to not know an answer and know when to know an answer.
Sean, that is an incredibly risky thing to do. Have you given us some incorrect answers today to not be noticed in the pack?
Maybe.
Oh,
But there
I
has
don't
been
believe it!
situations where I didn't know the answer.
Yeah, but there are occasions when you did and you answered incorrectly. Sean, that is some of the cleverest gameplay. And do you know what? It's worked out for you just perfectly. You have not been noticed by Paula. You've snuck all the way through and you are in the final. Well done. Sean, head to the safe area. If you make the final, you now know the kind of player you're up against. But to make the final, you need to beat Hannah. This next question is easier for you, but it's easier for Hannah. Maybe the time to pass is finally over. The next question is worth £500. Let's see the question. During the Second World War, which fashion designer lived at the Hotel Ritz in Paris? Louis Vuitton, Thierry Hermès, Coco Chanel, Nicole Fari. Paula, I'll come to you in a moment for what could be the final time today. Give us your answer, Hannah. So Hannah has answered. And if Hannah's given us the correct answer, pass and you are out.
I'm going to pass it.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
So on the £500 question on hotels, Paula has decided to pass, which means all eyes turn to Hannah in a moment. If Hannah knows the correct answer, Paula, by choosing to pass on the very last category, has ended her own game. Paula has chosen to pass on the £500 question on hotels. Let's see the correct answer. It was Coco Chanel. So you definitely did not know the right answer,
No, I didn't have a clue.
which is a shame.
I know it was.
Did Hannah know the correct answer was Coco Chanel? Has she ended Paula's game on the last category? Let's see. Oh, she did! Oh. Paula, come in. I'm so sorry.
Oh, never mind.
I'm so sorry. Paula, I loved playing the game with you. I really enjoyed your cautious approach. And I hate what I'm about to say. But Paula, you've lost £3,750. And on the last category, you failed to beat the pack. It's time to leave. Paula, thank you for playing. Well played. How could you, Hannah?
I feel awful.
Don't feel awful. That's the way the game works. Your aim was to try and beat Paula. You managed to do it. How do you feel?
Yeah, I feel really good to be through to the last round.
Yeah. You, Hannah, up against Sean in the final. Back you come, Sean. Hannah and Sean are through to today's final. They will now go head-to-head for the chance to come back on the next show as our control player, with the chance to win up to £12,000. I can reveal the stronger player until this point is Hannah. Well done, Hannah. You're our stronger player until this point. So who knows, Sean, perhaps that crafty game of answering incorrect questions hasn't paid off on this occasion. So, Hannah's in control. Let's play the Beat the Pack final. So here we are in the final, and instead of playing for money, today our 2 pack members are playing to come back as the control player. Now, Hannah, you are now in control of the game, and you will face 75 seconds of quick-fire questions. Keep on getting them right, and you leave here a winner. It's as simple as that. But answer incorrectly will take too long to answer. I'll stop the clock, and Sean will be given the chance to answer that same question. Now, Sean, if you can steal 3 correct answers in the 75 seconds, then you will return in control next time. OK? Hannah, the aim of the game for you, just stay in control for 75 seconds. Good luck. Your time starts now. What breed of dog was Susan, a gift to the Queen on her 18th birthday?
Beagle.
Stop the clock. Sean, what breed of dog was Susan, a gift to the Queen on her 18th birthday?
Corgi.
That's your first of 3 correct answers. You need to steal control. Sean, well done. So, Hannah, 5 seconds in, Sean already has 1 correct answer. Back with you, 70 seconds left to play. Time starts now. In music, cymbals belong to which section of an orchestra?
Bass.
Stop the clock. Sean, in music, cymbals belong to which section of an orchestra?
Percussion.
Sean, that is the right answer. That's your second steal of the game. Hannah, so far, in 10 seconds, Sean has stolen 2 correct answers. 65 seconds left. You're in control once again. Try and stay in control. Your time starts now. Who was the Republican candidate beaten by Barack Obama in the 2012 US presidential election? Stop the clock. Sean, who was the Republican candidate beaten by Barack Obama in the 2012 US presidential election?
Mitt Romney.
If Mitt Romney is the correct answer, Sean, you have managed to win the final with 56 seconds still to play. A remarkable performance. If it's wrong, Hannah, you're back in control. That, Sean, was the right answer. Congratulations. That was a pretty short final. Wow. Hannah, less than 20 seconds that final lasted. What was the problem?
I don't know. I think because you've only got 3 seconds to answer it, I just kept thinking whatever first came to the top of my head, so...
It's really difficult and very different from being in the pack, isn't it?
Yeah.
And Sean, next time we return, you are down there with me in control of the game. You're looking forward to that?
Sounds good.
I can't wait to see how you approach that one. Congratulations for an incredible performance in the final. Hannah, I'm really sorry. You had your chance. You couldn't stay in control. Unlucky. Well, make sure you join us next time when Sean, and what a player he's turned out to be, will have the chance to win up to £12,000, but only if he can beat the pack. See you next time. Bye-bye.